When Pyro finally arrives to Star Citizen as part of the Persistent Universe experience, the magic patch number will tick over to 4.0 and the game will be closer to realising a bold vision. Pyro has been in and out of player testing for the best part of 9 months, and there are plenty of people out there who pin high hopes on what the introduction of a new star system will bring. But how high should those hopes be? I'm Farrister, and this video considers the impact that Pyro might have on actual gameplay experiences, hopefully by the end of 2024. To begin with, gameplay mechanics following the release of Pyro are likely to mostly be the same. The actual mechanics involved with salvage, mining, and combat, for example, are likely to be a carbon copy in the Pyro system. Arguably, there may be a little more complication to some missions or cargo hauling if they span star systems and require the use of a jump point, but otherwise those features are unlikely to change with the addition of a new system. Perhaps one mechanic, if it launches with Pyro, could be the additional pressure of solar flare activity from the new star, which could create some environmental or shelter challenges or some maintenance challenges aboard ship. But for the most part, Pyro is going to be a different coloured sandbox for the same sort of thing we have now. Pyro is, however, unashamedly lawless. If you thought that Grim Hex was full of cheeky characters, Pyro would be even more so. To some extent, that just gives a different flavour to existing content, but perhaps it's more than that. 2 different star systems, one more lawful and one more lawless, helps to set really clear expectations for players. A recurring theme on Spectrum or Reddit or wherever you care to look is often a tension between peaceful and aggressive players, and that's a situation that's exacerbated by the fact that everybody, regardless of their preferred playstyle, are all currently dumped into Stanton and left to figure it out. More space to play with means that there is a possibility of better signposting of what type of content best fits with different locations, and to some extent may alleviate some of the current tensions. Realistically, the introduction of a new star system in itself doesn't solve all of the problems, but it could be a stepping stone along the journey of addressing the concerns of some players, particularly if it paves the way for future gameplay or reputation-based changes. There is also the possibility of building on the theme of risk with a variation of reward. Perhaps one way to incentivize higher risk-taking activity within Pyro would be to increase greater profits for doing so. Maybe there are more valuable minerals to mine in Pyro versus Stanton, or maybe the trading and hauling contracts pay out that much more to account for the fact that there is a greater risk of piracy. Incentivizing risk-taking, whilst also signposting the greater risks, could be a helpful way to encourage players to make their own decisions about how much risk they want to take, as well as to accept the consequences of that decision. It should also be said that the jump point tech is foundational to the future development of Star Citizen. Seamless transition from one star system to another is of critical importance to the ongoing development of the game, and will fundamentally change Star Citizen from Stanton Simulator to an actual universe. Once the tech is proven, and hopefully survives what players throw at it across a few different patches, then the limiting factor to introducing new systems simply becomes the design and crafting of them, rather than anything tech-wise. Basically, once Pyro is running smoothly alongside Stanton, it paves the way for future systems to be added at a much faster pace, at least initially, than the long wait for Pyro has been. In theory, anyway. This is Star Citizen, so only time will tell. Finally, the introduction of Pyro will give more content, in the sense that there will be more places to go out and visit. Every time a new planet was released in Stanton, it quickly became a popular destination for players to flock to, explore, and experience. Pyro brings a whole host of new locations across the planets already revealed through gameplay tests and those that are shrouded in a little more mystery. A bigger verse means a bigger sandbox, whether for curated or emergent content for players. So, long story short, Pyro is a stepping stone in the journey of Star Citizen. For those who play the game regularly, it'll be an improvement to what's on offer and is likely to be a banner to which returning players flock. The day of Pyro release is unlikely to be a fundamental change to much of the actual gameplay experienced by players, but at the same time, it's going to be an interesting modifier to the way many choose to play. But what do you think? Do you agree that Pyro is a nice step in the right direction, or do you perhaps hope for something far more transformational? I'll be interested to read your thoughts in the video comments. As always, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel but would like YouTube to show you more videos like this, then you might want to press that button. And if you thought this video was interesting or thought-provoking, then pressing the like button will give me the prompt to make more videos like this in future. But otherwise, and as always, thank you for watching.